Okie dokie now. Oh, I love me an aired up rubber. Hey, I'm gonna show you how to do a tire. I'm gonna show you how to put a tire on a wheelbarrow from the dumpster that I got for free. Universal, I tell you, universal. First things first, you're gonna wanna get your tire ready. Tire aid, okay? Easy fit. Air filled with tire sealant. Read on here. Okay, there's the barcode. Now let's jump into how to rig this thing. Oh! Alright. Some pieces right here you'll notice. Okay? These are different sizes for various side. You'll also notice a little dang-a-lang right here. You can remove that cap, put your bike tire air pump on there, and give it a good squeeze. And there's the beauty from the dump. She's a little wibbly. She's put in her time, her hours, and that tire is completely trashed. All right, so if you're dealing with this and you have a problem similar to this, everything on it's just loose. You can see that bolt down there is wiggly. This whole thing is really wiggly. So we're gonna tighten everything up. I'm gonna give it a good paint. Hello, kitty, how much? Okay, rest her gently over something and spray here. This will just clean it up, make it easier to take apart. And always remember that the best gives you ends. Okay, all I've done here is taken a crescent wrench and a Klein reversible screwdriver, multi screwdriver there. And you can see on the wheelbarrow, one side here is a nut there and a nut there. Okay, and on the back side, which I've already removed the nuts on those two, on the back side there's a flathead. See, I've already removed these. So if you take off this nut, if you take off them nuts, this will come out, okay? And this is what it looks like on the back end. So you'll need a flathead screwdriver and a crescent wrench, okay? And that'll get you those four off. Once you get those four off, this will come right up, okay? So let me get those two off of there, and I'll be right back. Bolts through and they'll fall right out. All four of those came right out, and the nuts, them nuts, they're all right here, okay? Put them somewhere where you won't lose them. And now that all that's done, we are going to take this whole thing off, just like this, okay? These slid right off the end, They don't pull off, they slide off. And then there's a spacer here and a spacer here, and those also slide off just like that. And here it is, all put back together. So what did I do? Well, you can see there's a flathead right here, flathead here, and a flathead here, and this one right here is different. It's a hex head. Well, that's because I went to Ace Hardware and I got me a long bolt, okay? The bolt that goes through the wood here, and then I reused the bolts. I took off all these, remember? And I reused everything, but I had one bolt, that bolt right there. It would not accept the washer on the end, and I mean the nut. So what I did is I had to go to Ace Hardware and I got a new bolt, okay? And I put it through there. Now you could change all these bolts, and then I just put one pair of channel locks here and one pair of channel locks down here, because the new bolt does not have a Phillips head or a flathead. So you just grab on here with channel locks, grab on here with channel locks, righty-tighty on the new bolt, there you go. And you could have done that on all four if you needed to. Now, here's the spacers. I reused one of their spacers right here, and you can see the spacers are perfectly in between there. I also have a couple spacers left over that I didn't need, okay? But there it is. So your spacers will go here so your tire doesn't slide off right there. It's in between, right where you want it. And then I tightened down everything. I put my guard back in place and tightened down that. All those are tight, 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 and I oiled everything up, okay? And that is that. now I'm gonna flip this over, and I'm gonna first, let me show you guys what I ended up using. This is what I ended up using. A crescent wrench, a Klein reversible screwdriver. Here's a metal rod, because let me show you the metal rod that was originally, I know I shut the video off earlier, that's because I spent 3 hours trying to bust this thing off of the old rod. The tire, you can see I took everything apart. So you think, you know, oh, it's just supposed to slide off the rod. Well, like the spacer slides off and everything slides off this rod, and that's great. But don't hit the end of it with a hammer, because then your stuff won't slide off. And I hit both ends with a hammer because it was so rusted. I sprayed it, I oiled it, I cleaned it, everything. And I just couldn't get it to come off. So there you go. Don't do what I did. Don't beat the heck out of it. Look, I mean, I worked for hours trying to bust it. Look at that. Hand cutting it, prying it, jamming it, everything. So anyway, I had to trash the entire rod. Mother liquor. It's completely trashed. The old gal, she finally blew a gasket. But anyway, there's the new tire, and I got it off, and it could slide off. So once you take these off, spacers slide off, tire should slide off. If it doesn't, just go get you a new rod. Spare you the 4 hours of time. Here's a new rod, stainless steel metal rod. I got it at Ace Hardware too, the exact perfect size. There's the SKU number, 52137, and it is the brand Hillman, if you can see anything you need to see on there. But this is what I got, and I got it at Ace Hardware. All right, anyway, just get you a metal rod, and then with that metal rod, you can see I cut it a couple times. The first time I cut it a little bit long, but you actually have to cut it inside there, because this little metal piece comes down on the side. So you have to cut it a little bit short, but not too short, because then it'll fall through. So you want it long enough, but not too long. So that's why I had to cut it twice. But anyway, I cut it too long the first time, and then I had to make it more precise so it fit inside there. And anyway, that's the rod that I got. Channel locks, a DeWalt Sawzall with a 4H battery, and I used a Linux blade, Larynx thick metal cutting blade, or you could use a Diablo. I'm going to link all these tools in the description below. Both blades will work well, just pick your poison. Here is a copper cleaner. It's just what I use to sand the piece after cutting it off with the Sawzall, and of course the WD-40. That, my fellow friends, is what a plastic surgery can do for you. For your front end, your back end, whatever you need. And there it is. And you can see all this wood. I'm about to start hauling all this wood in that. I'm going to take it right back there. And follow me over to my next videos where I cut down 30 trees on that back fence line. And if you like home improvement videos, go ahead and subscribe to the channel and like this video as well. And I will see you next time. And I just chainsawed my hand